Okay. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So we have with us here Ishaaq, who he took my coaching program for just under a year, and just prior to that, he took the Maqam Hijaz mini course. So he's just going to chat with us a little bit and tell us a bit about the program. It's one thing for me to always send you guys emails and so on and tell you about how awesome the my Maqam programs are, but let's hear it from one of our students. And of course, I have on my pages, you see a lot of student results and stuff. But let's hear from him. I'll just ask him a few questions and about the process of learning maqamat and so on. And yeah, let's hear from him. So, Ishaaq, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Ustad. How you doing?
Good, alhamdulillah. So, tell us a bit about, before you started with me, what was going on with your recitation? Tune-wise, what difficulties were you having? What were you finding challenging at that point? That kind of led you to say, hey, let me try to learn this and let me take the Hijaz mini course.
That's quite a good question, to be honest. It's weird because I went to an Islamic high school growing up, and they taught me how to recite Quran and stuff. They never mentioned how to recite in tune. It was never a thing that they taught. So I never knew it was a thing to be able to recite in tune. I thought it was either you either had it or you didn't. Allah blessed you with the ability to recite beautifully or not. Didn't really know that it was something that you could learn. So I think it was a couple of years ago, I was Googling, and I came across your course. I think it was the overnight Qari. That's when I got in touch with the Hijaz mini course, and I bought that, and then I jumped onto the accelerator course as well, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's all it was. I never knew. I didn't have any previous experience or knowledge on maqamat or anything like that. Didn't know
in terms of your recitation, did you have a tune? Like were you already reading with a tune? Okay, no. So you weren't. Okay.
It was pretty just monotone, to be honest. I didn't know what I was doing. I can't even remember. It was just I tried to copy, but sometimes the reciters they recite on YouTube and stuff, and you just don't really know what they're doing. So it did get a bit difficult.
Okay.
But yeah, I just tried to recite as well as I could. There was no particular tune to it.
Okay, cool. So then you took the course and the coaching and so on. What changed?
What changed? I think it does kind of open up a complete new perspective of reciting the Quran. It was a bit of a mad one, to be honest, because I didn't realize it was a thing to be able to recite in the patterns and stuff, and it just makes you enjoy it a lot more. It's a lot more enjoyable to recite. I think that's what's changed. There's a new kind of thing that you find that you have that kind of, what's the word? I can't think of the word. It's not a passion, but more like an interest. Think, okay, let me find out what I'm reciting. What's the meaning behind it, and let me try and convey that with the way I recite. That kind of kicks in a little more. So you do it grows your interest in the Quran because you want to know, okay, this is how I can recite it. I can make it sound like this, but what am I actually reciting? I think it's a good gateway.
So it draws you into the meaning a lot more.
It gets you it's not reading the Quran now isn't something that I have to do it. It's something that's part of my routine. It's something that I need to do. It's something that I have to do. And that's something that's really grown over the course of being over the year. Preparing just to recite to you something that I've learned or applying the lesson or whatever it is. It's really grown. That kind of really instills every morning I have to recite. The day doesn't feel right without it. And especially reading with the meaning now, that's something that you really want to do, because you do really want to be able to convey what that emotion that you feel when you do know the meaning. It really does affect the way you recite. And it's just enjoyable. It's just more enjoyable, mashallah. It just makes reciting a lot more enjoyable, because you can kind of manipulate the maqam and you think, okay, let me change into nahwana, let me change into ras, let me change into this. And you can kind of flick through them all, and it does really make it a lot more fun. And it's difficult to tell people that as well. Like I'm talking to my friends and someone telling them, I've done this, I've done that, and I can recite in many of them now. And they're like, yeah, that sounds cool. It's like, you don't understand. You don't understand. Yeah. The effort you have to put in to do it, and then when you're actually doing it, you can't describe the feeling you get, especially when it starts to become natural to you. Because I can't recite now without a maqam. Someone asked me like the same question, like, how did you recite before? And I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You can't. I'm sure you don't. I'm not sure if you could recite without maqam now either. It feels very unnatural. It becomes instilled within you, and when you recite, it's just more fun. That's the only way I can describe it. It's more fun.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah. And I'm
So
glad you mentioned that thing about it, like drawing you into the meaning. It means you're a good student. You pick that up,
Alhamdulillah.
because like, you know, sometimes people think, you know, with maqamat, that's like a huge concern, that like people think, okay, maqamat is like you're playing with your voice, or you know, shouldn't we focus on the meaning more? But like when you get into it, you realize that it's the same. It's like two sides of the same coin, right? You're not just using your voice to just do random stuff with your voice to sound like, you know, to sing and dance, so to speak, but like you're really immersing yourself in the meaning and the experience of what you're reciting. Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
So what so that's like more like the impact generally, like on your recitation, but specifically in terms of learning maqamat. Well, like what have you accomplished? Like what results have you gotten in
So
that regard?
yeah, so initially I think the intention was just to try and finish Hijaz, because I bought the mini course. I didn't really get that far with it, but the intention was just to finish Hijaz and be able to recite that comfortably, which alhamdulillah I got. But then, you know, you kind of threw in the Nahawand in there. You're like, oh, why don't you try this a little bit? So like, okay, go on then. So we tried Nahawand.
It got you hooked, right?
Yeah, I would say that. So we went through Hijaz first. That took me about 4 months, I think, before I could recite a little bit fluently. And then we went on to Nahawand, and then we went on to Rast, and then it was Saba, Ajam, Sika, and then Bayati. So we went through.
And they come faster as you go along.
Yeah,
right?
they do. It's genuinely, it's exactly how you mentioned it at the beginning when you said to us that it's like being athletic. I'm not sure if you remember when you told us this. You said it's like being athletic. If you're athletic and you're fit, picking up new sports comes a lot quicker. You get to it. So you know, you tell a fit athletic person to start football or soccer, and they'll pick it up a lot more quickly than someone who's unhealthy. And I think that's how it is. When I first started maqamat, my ear training or whatever, I was very unhealthy. So it did take a couple of months to be able to recite in the maqam without actually thinking about it. It does take time.
So you mentioned this word, ear training.
Yes.
What is that for people that have no idea?
Ear training is a lot of fun. Ear training is something that because this is what kind of blew my mind, to be honest, when I first started. I still remember that first phone call you had with me. You said to me, "Oh, I think you need to go back to ear training," because when someone says to you, "Oh, that person can recite beautifully," you think it's to do with the voice. Or if someone says to you, I'm learning to recite better, you think, oh, it's to do with your voice, but it's nothing to do with your voice. I've not done, well, we did a bit of vocal training, but not much of it at all. It's to do with the ears and to be able to hear yourself. So when you're reciting in a maqam, a pattern, you need to be able to stick within those parameters of that maqam, of the notes. And it's basically training yourself to be able to hear the notes. So when you're applying them, you know, okay, I'm here in the maqam, I'm over there, I know how high to go up, I know the relative distance between notes, and I can fluctuate between them. That's when you get the sound of the maqam that you want. So ear training is just basically training your ear to be able to hear those sounds, if I've explained that properly. So usually it consists of, like, you know, hearing two different notes and then just describing, okay, which one's higher, which one's lower. Sometimes it's how distant are they, and then they tend to get smaller and smaller each time. The intervals between the two get really, really small, to a point when it becomes like one noise and you're like, okay, I have no clue. But you don't need, I don't want to scare anyone off. Like, you don't need to have amazing ears. My ears are definitely not amazing, but it's just something that you do to help yourself apply the maqam.
So for everyone watching this, when Ishaaq said at the beginning, I told him like he needs to do more ear training. Basically, that means that at the beginning he was off tune, like he didn't have a tune. So just clarifying that in case you're watching this and thinking, okay, I got Ishaaq on here because, like, you know, he could recite already really well, and then I helped him a little bit. And
oh,
you know,
no.
But we're talking about like a you know, your classic before and after kind of scene here, where he didn't have a tune at the beginning. And when I tried to like help him to learn a tune, he couldn't really like pick up the tune on his own. If I did a certain pattern, he wasn't at the point where he could just copy it naturally, so to speak. So alhamdulillah, from there he's gone through and he's, you know, done a bunch of maqamat and so on. Do you want to demonstrate anything? I don't know how much time we have. You have some time?
Yeah, of course we have time. Yeah, we can recite something, inshallah. It's Friday, so I thought we'll do the last 10 ayats of Surah Kahf.
Sure. Well, whatever you have in mind. Just what are you going to do? Just read, or are you going to say like, okay, this maqam and then try that maqam?
I will go down, inshallah, and then I'll explain after.
Okay,
okay.
sure. I don't know what he's doing, guys. Like, if you're watching, this is not
It's been a
scripted.
while since I've left reciting to you, actually. It's been a couple months now. It's fine enough.
Yeah. Okay, so last end of surah, okay? Okay.
Gee, last 10 nights, inshallah. And if I'm making a mistake, Ustad, then please correct me, especially with the
Sure.
stuff.
Okay.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الذين كانت أعينهم في غطاء عن ذكري وكانوا لا يستطيعون سمعا.
Get the ayn a little better.
سمعا.
No. عن ذكري.
Oh, sorry. Okay, we'll start again. الذين كانت أعينهم في غطاء عن ذكري وكانوا لا يستطيعون سمعا. أفحسب الذين كفروا أن يتخذوا عبادي من دوني أولياء إنا أعتدنا جهنم للكافرين نزلا. قل هل ننبئكم بالأخسرين أعمالا الذين ضل سعيهم في الحياة الدنيا وهم يحسبون أنهم يحسنون صنعا. أولئك الذين كفروا بآيات ربهم ولقائه فهبطت أعمالهم فلا نقيم لهم يوم القيامة وزنا.
Okay, so what maqam is that?
This is Hijaz.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And for those of you watching, you can see Ishaaq still has, like, a little bit of tajweed issues that he's working on and stuff at the same time. But honestly, I'm not like there's no embarrassment about that or something. Like, it's something that it's still a journey for him. It's still a journey for most of us. And inshallah, it's something that he is continuing to work on with other teachers as well. So that's one thing to keep in mind, because sometimes a question comes up about like tajweed and maqamat. And it's not like an either or type of thing, or like you have to master one before you can get to the other one. But we'll talk about that later. Anyways, that's another video for another time.
But you've always helped with that stuff. To be honest, you've always said to me, try practicing the ha and the han. You've always corrected it. So I have learned tajweed with you at the same time.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, do you want to try a different maqam?
Yeah, we can do that, inshallah.
Okay.
We'll start from the top. I'll jump into different, inshallah. We can do that.
Okay.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الذين كانت أعينهم في غطاء عن ذكري وكانوا لا يستطيعون سمعا. أفحسب الذين كفروا أن يتخذوا عبادي من دوني أولياء إنا أعتدنا جهنم للكافرين نزلا. قل هل ننبئكم بالأخسرين أعمالا الذين ضل سعيهم في الحياة الدنيا وهم يحسبون أنهم يحسنون صنعا. أولئك الذين كفروا بآيات ربهم ولقائه فهبطت أعمالهم فلا نقيم لهم يوم القيامة وزنا.
Okay. And what maqam is that?
This is Nahwan. Not the best Nahwan.
No, it's good. Yeah. So one thing too is that you seem really nervous.
Yeah.
So guys, if you're watching this, it's been a struggle just to get Ishaaq on here because he's a little camera shy, but he's here. So I'm making him more nervous now. But okay, so that maqam was
Nahwan.
So now the thing is, like, you'll notice also with Ishaaq's recitation that a lot of times people think like, okay, if I want to do a maqam, or I want to learn to recite in a maqam, but my voice cracks when I go super high, or I can't hold my breath super long, or these sorts of things. But you'll see here with like the way Ishaaq was reading, like to have a tune doesn't necessarily mean that you're being like Sheikh Minshawi, right? It doesn't mean that, like, you're all of a sudden going to be like reading like Sheikh Abdul Basit rahimahullah. You're not like, you can't go super high. That's fine. The point isn't that you go super high. That it's just about, having a tune and being able to control that tune. So you stay in a tune, right, rather than reading like all over the place. Okay. I don't know how much time you have, Ishaaq. I don't want to keep you too long. Do you want to do another maqam, or otherwise I have like another question for you?
I could do like a bit of sabah if you wanted to, like a bit.
Not a fun. Why don't you go for it? Go for it. You look like you're ready to go. So
I'm not ready in a long time. I think that's what's kicked in, to be honest.
yeah. Okay,
Anyway.
go for it. Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I'll just try Fatiha in this, inshallah. It's a difficult one.
Okay.
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Okay, Ahsan. Yeah,
Okay.
we actually haven't. I don't think we practiced sabah that much, right?
No, we didn't. I think it was like a week.
Like maybe like a week, right? Like we just kind of introduced it. So that's the thing. Like for anyone watching this, like as you do maqamat, like he mentioned Ishaaq mentioned ear training. The beginning, it's like working out. Like there's a lot of you have push-ups to do, right? No one likes to do push-ups, but you kind of do it, and you come out of that stronger, and it facilitates like a lot more in terms of what you can do. So it gets easier to like tack on new maqamat once you first of all figure out like how maqamat work, and you get your the hardest part is kind of getting through like say 1 or 2 maqamat, getting your ears used to different patterns and thinking in terms of patterns, and then it becomes easier. Okay, so last question is Haq. So if someone was interested in learning maqamat, or they're interested, say specifically in like learning with one of my programs, but they're kind of like on the fence. There's a lot of maqamat demos on YouTube. Maybe they could just go on YouTube and like listen to some stuff and figure it out. What do you say to someone like that?
I'd say to someone, just jump in the course. You'll learn so much more from having that one-to-one kind of lesson with someone who's very experienced in the matter. I think it goes back to when I bought the Hijaz mini course.
Mm-hmm.
And after I finished the mini course, even though it was with you and you broke down the maqam into its little bits, into the 4 notes and whatever, I still couldn't recite the maqam. So sometimes you do need someone to say to you, okay, why don't you just try this, just practice that, just do this, recite after me. And when it becomes tailored to you and to what you're struggling with, you end up making that progress a lot more quickly. And yeah, I definitely don't regret doing it. I don't look back and think, oh, I shouldn't have done it, or I shouldn't have stayed on for this long. If anything, I want to stay on for longer. It's just a shame that it's been a bit difficult to do that. But yeah, it's something that I definitely, if anyone's on that fence, if anyone's there on that fence thinking, should I do it or should I not? Just do it. And you will not regret it at all. You will never, it's something that you'll take for the rest of your life, inshallah. Yeah, I would definitely just, even for a month, and after a month you don't like it, fair enough. But
okay, so you're talking specifically about the coaching program. So for like the overnight Qari course, or the overnight Qari experiences we're having it now in 2020. For those of you watching, so Ishaaq did the Hijaz mini course, which was you did that one self-study, right? Like you just kind of went through the videos. Yeah. Okay. So he did that one through the videos, and then he joined also my coaching program where it has like a lot of one-on-one and so on, a lot of like group coaching. So for the overnight Qari program, it's almost like a hybrid between the two. So it's gonna have it's gonna have lessons that we're gonna teach, like the main maqamat patterns and so on, and then these optional calls where people can come and get extra help and so on, and get feedback and so on. But it's hard if someone is like, say, watching demos on YouTube, right, and they're not able to follow the pattern. Like they're good demos, good reciters on YouTube, right?
Good luck with that.
Someone's listening and they're like, okay, like here's a video. It says how to recite Surah Fatiha in Maqam Hijaz, and the reciter starts reading. What's different about, say, what somebody would get on YouTube versus learning it like via our approach?
I've never really tried it from YouTube, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
But, I have seen a couple. I remember, like, what's his name? Is it?
Edit this out without mentioning names. There's a lot of good reciters and good teachers and so on. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean that. He's really good. Yeah, he's genuinely very good. But he's like, it's in Arabic, and he's like, reciting this maqam, I'll teach you how to do it. And he just starts going crazy with it. You're like, okay, can't really follow that. It's a bit mad. My ears can't really, don't follow as quickly as that. But yeah, it's more, it's broken down a lot more, isn't it? And it's more like, okay, there's progression in it. In a video, it's like, okay, just watch this whole video and then just do the video. But with, you have like segmented clips, there's like audio files, and then there's always like the exercises that you have, rather than just, oh, listen to me and recite. There's more like get involved with the reciting. Even though it's an audio clip, it's like there's breaks in the audio clip for you to reciting. So it's like as if you're being taught. There's a lot more material than just listening and watching a video and just trying to apply that. So in terms of the material alone, you've got a lot more variety of ways to kind of learn. And then also there's that kind of communication with you as well, to help when you get a little stuck. So that's the difference. There's more variety of material for you to learn. So yeah, I didn't mean to mention names of poke fingers. He's really good. I can't remember his name. He's really, really good, and he can recite really well.
I mean, there's a lot of good reciters on YouTube, and different demos of different maqamat and so on. But yeah, okay, fine, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan for your time. Any final remarks or anything before I let you?
Yeah, thank you for teaching me and being patient with me. Alhamdulillah, I've learned a lot, and I really appreciate the time you put in, especially near the end when we try to push and try to do as many as we can, as many as we could at the time. So I really appreciate that, and just really trying. Every week was always like, you're always like, try doing this. You're pushing me a lot more than I thought I could do. So I really appreciate that.
Jazakumullah khairan. I appreciate your feedback, and you're a good student, alhamdulillah. Like, you show up and you do the work. So you know, a lot of times people sign up for stuff and they don't necessarily do it either. So that's the other thing with maqamat, that it's not something you learn, like you just listen to a lecture and you learn it, but it's something you have to practice, put in the work, and yeah. Okay, jazakumullah khairan. I'll share this with others. And and if you're watching this, please make dua for Ishaaq, and jazakumullah khairan, for coming on, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and your family, and bless you in your journey with the Quran as well. Still more to go. Still obviously like tajweed stuff you can brush up on and refine and so on, but inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps blessing you in your relationship with the Quran. And that's the main thing, like as a teacher, the most important thing that out of this whole call, the most like valuable thing that Ishaaq has said was that he wakes up every morning and he has to recite Quran. Like I don't want to be selfish here, but if that counts for something for myself on the Day of Judgment, then like I'm happy for that. So that's the number one thing that kind of like lights me up when students say, oh, they're reciting Quran more, or they love reciting Quran more, or they're engaging with the meaning more, and so on. So that's when I feel like alhamdulillah, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed me to do a good job, and I'm something I'm proud of as a teacher. So yeah, okay, jazakumullah khairan. And for everyone watching this, if you have questions about the course, or you have questions about learning maqamat with me, then you know how to reach me. Just comment on the video or send me an email or whatever. And yeah, looking forward. If you're interested in learning maqamat, I do invite you to join the Overnight Qari experience. You can register at overnightqari.com. And yeah, bismillah, I'm looking forward to working with you and serving you in the best of my capacity. Okay, take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.